Okay, so this video is a brief synopsis of the Scarlet Letter. And for all you Harry Potter fans out there, no, it's not about a vicious howler, so sorry to get your hopes up. It's about an actual letter of the alphabet. No, not the letter D. It's about the letter A, and a woman named Hester Prynne. When we first see Hester, she's standing in the middle of a crowd on a stand as a form of public shame, with her infant child in her arms. However, Hester refuses to be shamed, and instead, though blushing, bears a confident smile. We come to learn very quickly that the letter A pinned to her dress represents adulteress, but Hester refuses to, quote, speak and give her child a father, who we learn later is the hunky young priest Arthur Dimmesdale. Hester is married to a creepy old hunchback guy who calls himself Roger Chillingworth, and he comes to visit her in the prison. He doesn't wish to reveal his marital link to her in any way, because it makes him look like even more of a loser if everyone knew she cheated on him while he was away. So he makes Hester promise to keep his secret. She does, but we all know she'll sorely regret this later on. So Hester is banished and cares for her daughter in a cottage, using her needlework as a job to provide for her. The daughter, Pearl, is described as an impish, almost demonic child, and it couldn't be plainer that she delights in exposing the secrets of those around her. Her one true desire is for the minister to hold her hand in the light, like he did the night on the scaffold. Whenever he finally does accept her in the light, his heart gives out and he dies. So, with such a small symbol as a letter, what does the letter A actually represent? It couldn't be plainer that with names like Dimmesdale, Mr. Gloom, and Chillingworth, Mr. Creepy, symbolism wants to smack you in the face with this book. So, like the old letter game you played in kindergarten, we're going to go through my list of what the letter A actually represents. Number 1. A is for adulteress. We know this already. It was one of the first and few words explicitly represented in the novel. Hester, though our heroine, is an adulteress because she had an extramarital affair with our handsome minister, and as a result, had a child out of wedlock. Which leads us to number 2. A is for Arthur. Arthur Dimmesdale is frequently described as clutching at his heart, where his own symbol would be. Hester herself wears this literal symbol because she had an affair with Arthur. Coincidence that Arthur's letter A in his name rests so close to her heart? I think not. Number 3. A is for Anne. There are 2 passages where the famous Anne Hutchinson crops up in this novel. In one, the rose bush outside Hester's prison door is said to be from Anne, and in the other, there's a direct comparison between Anne and Hester, and how Hester would be more like Anne if she did not have a child. However, the comparison is still there as 2 women who publicly defied the laws of women, and Hester certainly represents a fictitious Anne Hutchinson in that respect. Number 4. A is for affiliated. When Dimmesdale decides to hold a vigil on Hester's old torture stand, he ends up meeting Hester and Pearl there, where they see the letter A light up the sky. This is where Dimmesdale and Pearl first meet each other, and thus become affiliated with one another. The scene also allows me to bring up how others interpret the letter A in the sky. Number 5. A is for angel. The entire town believes the letter is a symbol of their beloved Governor Winthrop becoming an angel once he reaches heaven. Number 6 is obviously pointed out again in the novel. A is for able. Hester becomes very helpful to those in the town, doing needlework for them as well as other tasks. The narrator notes that when they would thank her, she would point to her letter A. As a possible number 7, A is for arrogant, as Hester could be prideful of doing these things and is thus pointing to her letter. Number 8. A is for atonement. On page 142 of the Pelican edition, the narrator states that the townspeople, quote, had begun to look upon the Scarlet Letter as the token, not of that one sin, but of her many good deeds since. In many of the townsfolk's eyes, her many good deeds outweigh her one sinful deed, and so she's atoned for her crime. Number 9. A is for apathy. At one point in the novel, Hester lacks passion and love for everything around her, including her own child. Number 10. A is for adventure. When Dimmesdale decides he can't live in the colonies anymore and also can't go off to a new life alone, Hester vows that he won't. They plan to steal away on a ship with Pearl and move to Europe and live as a family. Number 11. A is for abandon. When Hester meets with Dimmesdale in the woods, she discards her letter. Number 12. A is for anxious. Hester is excited that when she goes to see Dimmesdale give his sermon, this will be her last day wearing her Scarlet Letter. She's actually going to run away with Arthur. Talk about a red letter day on all levels. Finally, number 13. A is for absolved. Dimmesdale confesses his sin to the world like Hester by the end of the novel and has found a sense of peace. Hester and Arthur are buried next to each other in a sort of acceptance of their love. Ironic that I ended a symbolic lecture on the note of another symbol? You decide. I hope before watching this video that you actually read The Scarlet Letter, but if you haven't, go read it. It's an excellent book full of symbolism and very interesting even less than 200 years after its publication.